right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
Tonight, a West County teen is killed.
There's no name for this emotion. You just feel empty.
His mother says he was just trying to get off the Metrolink. The latest on suspects.
Pattern change, the developing pattern that could bring strong midweek storms and locally heavy rain. A Weather First weather alert begins on Wednesday.
But first tonight, Take Two at the Family Arena, discussing a controversial St. Charles housing development, how the developer's making changes, and why the county council may not have the final say. That meeting's still going on right now. Good evening, I'm Ann Allred.
And I'm Mike Bush. Plans for the massive housing development near the Bush Wildlife Area in rural St. Charles County has been downsized. Our Laura Barczewski is live tonight at the meeting with the latest. And Laura, is the St. Charles County Council making any final decisions tonight?
No, Mike and Ann, they're not making any decisions tonight. This was the first reading in front of the St. Charles County Council. And since the planning and zoning meeting right here a few weeks ago, the developer has made some changes, leaving roughly 57 acres untouched and out of the plan. They say they're still meeting requirements of the St. Charles County master plan.
Our overall density is 1.57 units per acre, well within the 1 to 4 units per acre that the master plan density calls for, over 87% of our site.
The Planning and Zoning Commission recommended that the County Council deny approval of this project. There was some confusion about that after the changes were made by the developer. The proposed tall tree development would be on Highway Double D and is now reduced to 469 lots or homes. The developer says they've met with the Francis Howell School District and there's room, and they're working with the Wentzville School District as well. The homes closest together there will be near Frontier Middle School and get further apart down Highway Double D. They would have to add in turn lanes, widening the road. Residents still aren't happy with the changes.
I think we really need to just kind of take a pause and start being more proactive versus reactive. And a big concern for me is I have 2 kids. Right now, they can't even go to the closest elementary school.
So all the sugar coating, all the 1.56 color pictures, I don't care if there's 1 acre that has high density housing. That's high density housing.
The developer also said they do not plan on any annexation to O'Fallon. The St. Charles County Council will likely make their decision about the development on July 31st. Reporting live in St. Charles, Laura Barczewski, 5 on Your Side.
A live look now at downtown. The St. Louis heat and humidity is returning tomorrow, and that could fuel storms later this week. Weather First Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell has already declared 2 days this week as weather alert days.
Well, we're running with Wednesday and Thursday as our weather alert days at this point, Mike. And the big question is really going to be just how intense those storms end up being as we get into Wednesday and how much rainfall they produce. Because listen, we have that chance for having some severe weather. We also have the chance to see some really localized downpours and maybe 2 or 3 inches of rain in some spots, but you're not seeing it tonight. You're not going to see it tomorrow. What's up to our north and west right now is already falling apart as it's dropping to the southeast, and we're very comfortable across the bi-state area. But there you see it, that northwest flow aloft, that's going to drag that unsettled weather out of Canada towards us. And with the heat and humidity around on Wednesday and likely into Thursday and Friday, we will have some periods where there's showers and thunderstorms. Right now we have Wednesday and Thursday as weather alert days. Wednesday we have a higher confidence in the chances for showers and thunderstorms, including the potential for some gusty winds and hail. And then again, we might have to extend that weather alert into Friday, another round before we get into the weekend. We'll see in a few minutes. We'll break down all of that timing for you, Mike.
And Scott on the Weather First team, always here to keep you up to date. Get the latest forecast anytime by texting the word weather to 314-425-5355.
Developing tonight, detectives with the Major Case Squad of St. Louis still need your help finding 2 women and a man seen in these surveillance photos in Pagedale. Police are calling them persons of interest in the deadly shooting of 19-year-old Jalen Johnson. Our Robert Townsend is in downtown live tonight with new information in this case. Robert?
And Jalen Johnson's mother says 4 nights ago her son got on a Metrolink train downtown heading home to Baldwin, but Jalen never made it. Major Case Squad detectives are asking the public to take a good look at these surveillance photos taken from a Metrolink train in Pagedale. Detectives want to question the writers, 2 women and a man, about the murder of Jalen Johnson.
You just feel empty. Just feel no. I don't want to do anything.
Jalen's mother says detectives told her surveillance video shows shortly before 1 Friday morning, her son got off a Metrolink train, walked a short distance, and was shot and killed near St. Charles Rock Road and Kingsland Avenue.
It shows him being friendly, like he's always been friendly. Just having a friendly conversation, what he thought, sharing some interests with strangers.
She says the strangers robbed her son, stole his cell phone, his registered gun, 2 bags, and then reboarded another train.
They lured my son to his death. They walked him to the darkest place and shot him and took everything that he had on him. It's cold-hearted.
Jalen Johnson had a 7-month-old son, worked at a manufacturing company, and the 19-year-old was the oldest of 4.
He's just so smart. He is one to always help everyone.
Now his hurting mom hopes releasing these surveillance photos will help detectives solve her son's murder.
Got on that train by himself, exited with 6 others. They're gonna catch him.
Now, Johnson says detectives arrested 3 suspects, but again, they're still looking for those 3 others. Anyone with any information can call Crime Stoppers at 866-371-TIPS. Major Case Squad investigators want to hear from you. And we also tonight just heard from Metro, a spokesperson telling us that they are assisting Major Case Squad detectives with this case. Live downtown, Robert Towns at 5 on your side.
Tonight, Florissant police are looking for the people responsible for a rolling gun battle. A stray bullet from that gunfire went into a home and struck a person in the foot. This happened around 7 this morning on New Florissant Road, just feet from the police department. Investigators say the shots were fired from 2 cars heading south. The victim is expected to survive. Anyone with information, please call the Florissant police.
Tonight, a Northwoods police officer is on paid leave while under investigation over claims he beat a man. A photo was posted online showing the man bloodied and laying on the grass in Kinloch on the 4th of July. The witness says the officer stood over the man. We talked with the head of a local grassroots organization that helps families advocate against police brutality.
It has to stop, and until America sees this, until the world sees this as a human rights violation, yes, it's happening to Black and brown Americans more often than not, but that is a human rights violation. We're all humans. We all bleed the same blood, and this is what they're doing to us, and it has to stop.
Police say the man was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The Northwoods police chief released a statement. It reads in part, "We understand the seriousness of the allegations. Furthermore, we understand the impact such incidents have on our public trust. Our commitment to serving and protecting our community remains unwavering."
New tonight, the man in charge of a police department under fire is speaking only to our I-team.
Senior investigative reporter Paula Vassan sat down with the new Riverview police chief and asked who's telling the truth in a back and forth over public safety.
The village of Riverview is a small town of about 2,500 people with what was a 10-person police force until a couple of weeks ago. 7 officers quit all at once.
Why did they leave?
The officers did leave because of the pay, but the mayor was in the process of revisiting the budget to give them a raise.
Interim Chief Tom Tumbrink is speaking with us for the first time about how he's leading the force, one much smaller now.
This must also really put you in a bind.
Absolutely, because we're trying to maintain operations with the department and provide adequate protection to the citizens.
Is there anything that you've learned from this experience, anything that you would do differently to make sure this doesn't happen again?
But the biggest thing is communication. Officers need to speak with their supervisors, and supervisors need to work with the mayor to just communicate properly to make sure that things run more smoothly.
The Village of Riverview's mayor, Mike Hornell, says the mass resignation spotlights some serious internal flaws.
Why do you think so many officers left all at once?
So we have the internal investigations that was going on, and I believe the individuals who are investigating, they certainly understand and know that this is going on.
Investigations, he says, ranged from missing weapons and faulty financial records to community complaints.
That's crazy. That's crazy talk. I mean, if that had really happened, an outside agency should have been called in, whether county police or highway patrol.
Says Dave Reagan, who claims to represent the local labor union. He told the I-Team recently that he believes it all stems from a hostile work environment. He said officers also weren't paid for promised increases in pay. They counter it's more than that. So much more that outside agencies have been called in, including St. Louis County Police, the state's auditor's office, the Attorney General's office, and the FBI, as they deal with a crisis they did not expect.
What are you going to do about it?
My job as interim chief of police is to get my officers what they need, support them.
Moving forward, they say the department will be making changes, working toward accreditation for starters, a timely and pricey process to meet higher training standards. They'll be bringing in services to support mental health, and they're focusing on more community events to rebuild trust.
I realize that I'm here for a reason, and I'm serving a higher purpose to keep this community safe.
We're told the police force is in the process of hiring. They could be back to being fully staffed by this week. For the I-Team, Paula Vasan, 5 on your side.
If you have a tip for Paula and the 5 on your side I-Team, you can leave a voice message at 314-444-5231, or you can email Paula at tips@ksdk.com. All calls and correspondence will be kept confidential.
A Chiefs superfan accused of robbing banks throughout the Midwest. Tonight, we're learning he's now accused of cleaning that loot at local casinos. Radioactive roads sounds like a highway to hell. Tonight, we verify if nuclear waste is being used to pave the way to the future.
The heat really builds tomorrow, but it's Wednesday when that humidity returns, along with the chance of strong storms. The rest of the weather changes happening this week in 8 minutes.
Tonight, we're learning new details about the alleged bank robbing scheme of a Kansas City Chiefs superfan. Xavier Michael Babadar is known to dress as a wolf, known on social media as Chiefsaholic. Federal prosecutors say that same man robbed banks across the Midwest and then laundered more than $1 million at casinos, including Hollywood Casino in Maryland Heights, Ameristar Casino in St. Charles, and the Argosy Casino in Alton. Babadar was arrested back in December in Tulsa, Oklahoma, in connection to a bank robbery there. He was released on GPS monitoring 4 days before the Chiefs Super Bowl win back in February. Investigators say he ditched his ankle monitor in March and was rearrested near Sacramento, California last week.
Concerns tonight over your child being over-caffeinated by a popular energy drink. Prime is backed by YouTube influencers Logan Paul and KSI. It comes in bright cans with sweet flavors. A 12-ounce can has 200 milligrams of caffeine. That's 6 times the amount of a can of Coke or 2 Red Bulls.
A normal teenager should not need that much caffeine ever. No. Caffeine can cause heart palpitations. It can cause chest pain. If a patient perhaps has an undiagnosed cardiac issue, it can exacerbate that.
Other risks include anxiety and sleep disruption. That's why Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is calling on the FDA to investigate. The makers say the label clearly states the drink is not recommended for children under 18, but cans of Prime are similar to the wildly popular caffeine-free Prime Hydration Sport Drink.
Concrete, asphalt, and gravel, they're common materials used to build roads. Tonight, our Verify team looks into claims one state is adding nuclear waste to the mix. Brandon Lewis explains why you won't be driving on radioactive roads anytime soon.
Some social media users and headlines claim a new law signed by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis means Florida will start building roads with radioactive material. Several Verify viewers asked us whether this means Florida will start construction soon. Using these sources, we can verify that these posts and headlines are misleading. And here's why. In June, DeSantis signed House Bill 1191, which adds phosphogypsum to a list of recyclable materials that can be used to build roads. Phosphogypsum is a cement-like radioactive byproduct from the manufacturing of fertilizer. However, this doesn't mean the state will start using it immediately. First, the law requires Florida's Department of Transportation to demonstrate phosphogypsum actually works as a road material. If the DOT decides to move forward after testing, then Florida must ask the EPA for approval to use the material. In 2020, the EPA conditionally approved using phosphogypsum in road projects, but reversed its decision a year later amid concerns that it could expose the public and road construction workers to an unacceptably dangerous cancer risk. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
What would you like for us to verify? Send an email to verify@ksdk.com. We are less than 2 hours away from Amazon Prime Day, and this year the online retail giant says it will offer more deals than ever.
The annual shopping event starts at midnight. For 48 hours, Amazon Prime members will have exclusive access to millions of deals. New ones will drop every 30 minutes. Invite-only deals are also being offered for deep discounts on select items. If you're not a Prime subscriber, you can sign up for a free trial membership to take advantage of the bargains. Last year, the event generated a record $11.9 billion in sales. And not to be outdone, Target is hosting its biggest sale of the season. Target Circle Week is offering hundreds of deals through Saturday. And over at Walmart, Plus members will have access to a range of discounted products through Thursday.
Powerball fever has reached a fever pitch. Tonight's jackpot is worth an estimated $675 million. The winning numbers were just drawn minutes ago, and they are 2, 24, 34, 53, 58, and the Powerball, 13. And there's another big jackpot up for grabs this week. The prize for tomorrow night's Mega Millions drawing has grown to $480 million. Should we make our obligatory news anchor jokes that we're going to quit?
Yes. No, we'll stay here, even if we have $480 million. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell joins us now with that weather first forecast.
10 more seconds and oh, bye. Yeah.
And some weather alert days this week.
We do have Wednesday and Thursday, and I think really Wednesday's going to be a big focus day, and we may have to add Friday into that mix as well. It's a big pattern change, but look how comfortable it is. Once you get away from town, already down in some of the cooler spots into the lower 70s, like Pacific at 71. Looking back from Worldwide Technology Raceway, there's the Gateway Arch into downtown St. Louis under a mostly clear sky tonight. Very comfortable night. 83 degrees right now at Lambert. Your dew point's 58. With dew points in the 50s, it does make a big difference. Our high today was 91, but it didn't really feel like it after our morning low of 68. Tomorrow, in town, close to 70. Outlying areas, low to mid 60s, mainly clear skies, light winds overnight. You have a nice day tomorrow. It's going to get hot. The humidity levels, though not terrible, will be back into the mid 90s for tomorrow afternoon around the St. Louis area. Changes, though, are happening, and you see the first trend of that to our north and west tonight. Scattered showers and thunderstorms here developing from Wisconsin back into Nebraska and Kansas. This first wave's kind of fizzling out, but there is more farther to the northwest that we'll watch. Meanwhile, nothing like that intense rain that's falling right now across a good chunk of northern Vermont. They are still watching some of that rain come down at levels that they haven't seen since Irene moved through that region with the torrential rain a few years ago. So here's the disturbance north and west of us. As this big heat dome down to the southwest kind of nudges a little farther west, it's going to allow those disturbances to come at us from the north and west. And so that means our chances for severe weather increase here. As we push our way into Wednesday, just about everybody across the bi-state region is in a level 2 out of 5 risk, and that includes the potential for some strong gusty winds, maybe some hail, certainly some heavy rain. Couple of scenarios could play out here. One, we get some late morning showers, and maybe that eases the potential for stronger thunderstorms later in the day. And then as we head into the overnight hours, potentially another batch of showers and thunderstorms taking us into early Thursday. Thursday, actually, during the day, we may start to see a bit of a break, especially during the afternoon hours on Thursday. Some of us will end up with substantial rainfall this week. We say some because, like we've seen with this pattern when it's set up the other couple of times this summer, we still get some spots that just completely miss out on those rain opportunities, while other folks end up with 3 to 5 inches of rain. Many of us will get an inch or two. Most of that's likely to be Wednesday night. Then again, Thursday night into Friday. Looks like another good opportunity for some rain. Lesser chances over the weekend, but we can't guarantee you a dry weekend this weekend.
All right, Scott, thank you. Frank, what's coming up?
And Andy Van Slyke with some candid Cardinal conversation coming up, plus the home run derby, and some high school kids got drafted and will now make some silly Scott Connell kind of money. We'll be right back.
The Sports Desk is sponsored by Jim Butler Chevrolet, the Midwest's #1 Chevy dealer 10 years running.
The Home Run Derby was a TV series in 1960. It became a competition in 1985. It is now one of ESPN's most watched television events. The Slam Dunk Contest got stale, the Pro Bowl is flag football, but the Home Run Derby is really cool. A bunch of skilled, usually sculpted specimens trying to hit baseballs to Mars. Doesn't that sound like fun? Julio Rodriguez from the Mariners set a record by launching 41 in the first round. Incredible. Hey, remember the former Cardinal, Randy Arozarena? You bet you do. He went nuts in round 2 with 35. He got to the finals. But Vladimir Guerrero Jr. did what his father did 16 years ago. He won the Home Run Derby. On Mondays, we often play hit and run. Tonight, we are not. Too many intriguing Cardinal issues to discuss. Andy Van Slyke is a 5-time Gold Glover and a 3-time All-Star and an always provocative baseball talker. We go rapid fire with Slick. Question 1, would he trade free agent to be Jordan Hicks?
I don't think so at this point. Unless something, blows up in the next month or so, no. You got to go into next season knowing that you got a guy in the 9th inning, especially the fact that he strikes out, over 13 guys per 9 innings. You can't find that in baseball.
You're going to lose Jordan Montgomery at the end of this season. Would you trade him at the deadline?
At this point, yes. I mean, someone's going to want him who's going to want long innings in the World Series or in the postseason, and he can definitely provide that.
Would you trade Jack Flaherty at the deadline? You're going to lose him at the end of the season unless you sign him too.
The number one thing is he going to be healthy? Growing up in the Cardinal organization goes a long way, Frank. And the Cardinals like that, the fans like that, and the players certainly like that. He's been around long enough, he's been around the league long enough to know this is baseball as good as it gets, even though they're really bad this year.
And how would you respectfully handle the Adam Wainwright situation now?
Respectfully? I wouldn't want to be the guy that asks him to go home. I know that. But I think it's pretty evident he should.
Ali Marmol, an evaluation.
I think he's fine. I wish he would rely on his instincts probably a little more than I know he would like to. It seems to me he's pulled starters out a lot faster than I would have done it if I was managing. But again, the way they think they're protecting pitchers' arms by limiting their pitch count. Even an example like Matt's yesterday. If he goes another inning, it's not like you're going to hurt him.
The Cardinals rejoined the MLB draft today after taking outfielder Chase Davis in the first round yesterday. They had no pick in the second round. So far, 9 picks overall for the Cardinals, 4 outfielders and 5 pitchers, kind of addressing their biggest needs. And congratulations to the pride of CBC, Nazan Zanatello, who was picked 50th by the Boston Red Sox late last night, 6'2", 180 with speed and power. A shortstop with power, yes. This is a great kid. We profiled him on Sports Plus a few months ago. Sources are telling me the bonus is in the $3 million range. Another high schooler from the area who will cash a big check soon is Xander Meath from Belleville East, 6'6", 210-pound right-handed pitcher, picked 67th by the Pirates. He had signed with Ole Miss, but he won't be going to Oxford. Meath throws in the upper 90s. Victor Wembanyama will be shut down from the NBA Summer League. The 7'5" Spurs sensation put on a show last night with 27 points and 12 rebounds. They want to play it safe. He's the NBA version of Shohei Ohtani. Never seen anything like this kid. Novak Djokovic's 4th-round match in Wimbledon was delayed overnight. It resumed today. Great point here. As both players cover the court well, the Joker will end up winning the point and the match. He moves to the quarterfinals. He's trying to win the first 3 legs of the calendar Grand Slam for the 2nd time in his career. He has a record 23 Grand Slam titles. And that will do it in sports.
All right, Frank, thanks.
Better late than never. The proposed changes tonight to help people with mounting credit card debt.
Help could be on the way for people struggling to pay their credit card bill. The federal government is proposing new rules that would slash late fees and reduce minimum payments. It would also give consumers a 15-day grace period. Banks oppose the changes, saying it will hurt their bottom line.
The Bud Light Blues continue. For the 2nd month in a row, Modelo is the top-selling beer. Bud Light held the crown for nearly 2 decades. Sales began declining after a social media partnership with a transgender influencer.
Well, they're going to be shelling out free peanuts tomorrow at Steve's Hot Dogs. The Planters Nutmobile will be making a stop tomorrow at the South Grand location. It'll be parked outside between 11:30 and 1:30, and you can also take a photo and take a peek inside the Nutmobile. Ironically, every time I get in my car, that's what Ann calls it, the Nutmobile.
Ah-ha-ha.
The Nutmobile. There you have it. 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.
Start your day with Today in St. Louis beginning at 4 a.m. We're going to work on our jokes. We'll be back tomorrow.